I'm Casper, for those of you that don't know, and today I'm going to be painting something that you can't see and telling you about one of my failed relationships, because those are always fun to hear about. So I discovered this guy, let's call him Jared. Also, I already filmed this entire story and accidentally deleted it when I was trying to edit it, so there's that. So I discovered Jared junior year of high school, and he stood out to me because he had to wear all white for some religious thing. So obviously, like, that alone is standing out. And I met him through theater because we both did theater. I think he transferred. He either transferred to my school from another one, or he just popped out of nowhere and decided he was going to join theater. Because he was not there at the beginning. I think. I don't know. Maybe I just never noticed him. And so I don't really know why I had a crush on him. I mean, like, he was kind of cute, but he wasn't a lot cute, if you know what I mean. And I was just really interested in him. Probably because he was all, like, mysterious and stuff. And so he, which I didn't know at the time, and only later found out, was kind of like the popular type. Like, he meshed well with popular people because he was kind of, like, into stuff that they were into. That's, like, the best way I can explain it, because I didn't actually know anything. It's just, like, a feeling I got. And he was, like, super into it. So he had missed auditions for competition, which is when I met him. I don't think we ever officially met. Discovered him. He had missed auditions, and so did I, but I ended up being in the play anyway. That's a whole other story. And so I was in the play and doing costumes. So when I wasn't on stage, I was working on costumes. And one of the times I was on stage, he was filling in for somebody. And I had found out that he learned the parts. Okay, so there's like 2 official guy parts. And he had learned the lines to both of them before the people who even had the parts knew their lines. So, suffice to say, I was low-key impressed. And I did nothing, made no moves. And turns out that he apparently had something in common with my friend, now friend. Let's call her Angelica. Because they started dating, which I literally had no idea that they were dating until I saw her kiss him the day of auditions for the next show. So I was, like, instantly crushed, because I literally walked into the room, and then I guess somebody had said something, because Angelica just walked right up to Jared and just right on the mouth, and I was like, oh snap. Well, there goes that. Because I have this thing about not dating my friends' exes, you know? Even though we weren't officially friends at the time, I still wanted to be her friend. So I was keeping that up. Same rules. And then, so the second show rolls around, or the last show of the year rolls around, and he gets a chorus part. So I have to, I was also doing costumes for that. So I had to make shorts for him And I also had to measure him. And for those of you that make clothes or know how to make clothes, you know that when you measure someone, you gotta get like into their space. So I was like, can I touch your body? Because that's kind of the type that I am. Like, if it's an awkward situation, I'm gonna be kind of straight, but also kind of funny with it. So I said, like, can I touch your body? And, because, you know, consent's important. Especially if I'm, like, up close and personal with you. And he said, I don't know, you'll have to ask Angelica. So then Angelica was right there, and I was like, hey, Angelica. Oh, no, he was like, Angelica, can she, touch my body? I think that's what he said. I think he quoted me. And she was like, yeah, you can do whatever you want with him. I was like, dope. So then I just took his measurements and stuff, and I still made no moves, because, you know, they were still together. And I was trying to get to know him more, while also trying to... So I was trying to get to know Angelica more, but while getting to know Angelica, I was also trying to get to know him more, because I was like, oh, well, if I can't date you, let's be friends. That never worked out, by the way. And... Sorry, I have notes here. So then, yeah, we did the performances, closed that show, and still nothing. Made no moves, because, well, obviously he was together with Angelica. So we had this end of the year banquet roll around, and I asked him, are you still together with Angelica? And he said, no, that ended a long time ago. And I was like, oh, wish I had known that sooner. And so I was still trying, now I was like, okay, I still want to try and be your friend, and so the only time I could get him to talk, really, because he hated small talk, anyways, was to get him to talk about his projects. So he was telling me about this one screenplay that he really was writing, and it sounded pretty cool. I had no idea how I was going to film like half of it, because he's an independent filmmaker. Barely. And so I was like, dope. And then finished the banquet, and that was the end of that. Still made no moves. Summer rolls around, and so he finished he like graduated from his religious thing or whatever, and he got a party thrown for him at a pizza place, because my friends were like, one, everybody wanted to meet each other because the seniors that year were graduating, so they're like, let's do one like last hurrah with all the seniors and all the juniors and everybody, like with this troupe. So then everybody's there, and he's late, like by an hour. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, it's your party and you were late. And I was even like, it's your party and you're late. Because like by this time, I was kind of over him. It was like a crush thing. It was kind of like one of those things that you forget about them until you see them again. You're like, oh snap, you cute, I forgot. So that's basically what it was. And then I got to know him a little bit more, because he was talking to one of the more popular guys, I guess, in our troupe. And I was sitting next to them, and this more popular guy, he was super dope, super down to earth. I wonder what he's doing right now, actually. And we were kind of like low-key friends, like acquaintances, and my camera is about to die again. That's great. Anyway, so I kind of got to know some more about Jared, and we just didn't talk anymore for that whole thing after his party was over. I did get some pictures with him, though, and of him to look at later. And then senior year happens. So senior year rolls around, and junior year I had lost my friend group, so I had been friendless for a very long time. So I came into senior year with a very different attitude. Basically, like, you can't mess with me anymore. I've already been friendless in high school. Like, what else is gonna happen? You're gonna bully me? Go right ahead. Bullying wasn't really a big problem at my school, how I think about it. At least it wasn't like huge that I heard about it. Anyway, so senior happens, and I'm kind of like tighter with this group of people because I was in the last group. We actually had a lot of seniors that had graduated, so it was kind of like a smaller group of people that already knew each other. And first show comes, we did La Llorona, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to pick a part. So I was like, I'm gonna audition for Llorona, and then if I don't get it, I don't get it, and I won't do it. But that's not what happened. I ended up getting a different part, and I stuck with it and did it anyway. It was pretty chill, really liked it, but you know who else got a part? Jared. Jared got the only male part in that show. And so, backing it up to what I said earlier about how there was a small group of people that were from the last year, meaning that there was a lot of new people. So, yay to new friends and love rivals. So, Jared was having some trouble portraying emotion, which is kind of super funny because he was like really into being an actor, but he can't portray emotion. Oh. And so I told him I could totally help him with that because, well, I don't think any of you know because this is probably the first video of me that you'll ever see, and probably the only one. I am actually pretty good at portraying emotion. Like, I am actually a pretty decent actress. I'm not gonna lie. And so I was like, I can totally help you with that. And he was like, yeah, cool. Never called me up. I had so many attributes, so many skills that I could attribute to him and his cause that he just didn't use. And so he never hit me up about that. And I guess he figured it out. Either that or the director got tired of telling him that he was bad. And so then I didn't do anything still. This time he was single. There was nothing holding him back. But I made no moves again. So then actually. So then around this time, also, we weren't even done with rehearsals for Llorona when my director decided to open auditions for our second play. And I also got a pretty good part in that play as well. But Jared also, I almost said his real name. Jared also got a part in this play. So we were doing double rehearsals. We were spending half our time in one rehearsal and half our time in the other. Or we were running some of the scenes that we were in, because we also got like small parts. I was on stage like the entire time for the second show, but I didn't have a lot of lines. It was more like reacting to stuff. And so we kind of had that in common. Like, we were kind of just like doing both these shows, trying to memorize both our lines and trying to prioritize Llorona because that was the one that was gonna open. So we kind of like got closer in the sense that he would just talk to me just a little bit more. And along with the second show, so the first show, Llorona, was small. It was like 6 people, I think. And the second one was big. We had a huge cast. And Jared had the idea to start, I think it was his idea, I don't know, to do team bonding. Basically, all sat in a circle and did stupid teen stuff. Like Truth or Dare, or like Never Have I Ever, and stuff like that. And it really I don't regret participating. There are some people who didn't participate and are super bitter about it. At least I think they are. But I don't regret participating because I still got my work done. And I had fun. So. And in this team bonding, we got little personal. This is where I'm about to expose myself and others who are, if you ever find this. We used to have this saying, and I think it was Jared that started it, where we would just say, let's get weird. We would get like super personal and super weird. I have some stories if you're interested in that. I might just say them anyway, but. So we were kind of like a tight group in the sense that as we started getting weirder, our numbers started to drop in our team bonding. Especially when the show closed, but that's not really relevant. So we all went to go see a show produced at a nearby college. Well, it wasn't nearby, a local college. And Jared could not find the theater. So he was like texting everybody in the group chat. He was like, I need help, dudes. Like, the show had already started at this point. And, oh snap. And he was just like, I need help, you know? So, I, feeling kind of sorry for him because, I mean, he was stuck and nobody wanted to help him. Nobody wanted to leave the show to go help him, which I still think is, like, such a crappy thing to do. Because, like, sure, I never saw that show again, and it was the first time me ever seeing a show in that college. But, yeah, I wanted to help him. I wanted to be his friend. I still genuinely wanted to be his friend, even though I didn't think he was into me. I still wanted to be his friend. So I called him up, helped him figure out where he was and how to get to the theater. I don't even think he said thank you. Because I remember thinking, like, you could have at least said thank you. I don't think he did. He's like, he sucks. He did suck. I don't know if he still does. And, yeah. I thought it was a very good experience for us, but he still, like, sucks. So then, that happens, and we're all chill and everything. And then Halloween rolls around. And my friend, E, I'm gonna call her E, she decides she's gonna throw a Halloween party at her place. So, I was a vampire that Halloween because I was trying to do, like, basics. So I was a vampire that Halloween, and I was just taking pictures, like, biting into people's necks, or, like, we did, like, a haunted house type thing, the troupe. So, some people were just putting blood on themselves, and I was, like, pretending to, like, eat it and stuff. And we get to Eve's place, and I hadn't taken pictures with Jared yet. So I asked him if he wanted to take pictures with me. And like me biting his neck. And so I did, and they're super hot pictures. Like, I love them. He sucks, but they're good pictures. So he was friendly with me. He did a lot of this, where he would include me in things that I didn't necessarily need to be included in. Like, even that same day, he asked me if I wanted to spin in circles with him, and we did. And I don't even understand what the point of that was. Like, except for simple pleasures, my dudes. Enjoy simple pleasures. And anyway. So, later on, in that day, in the night, I think right now, I just discovered why he did that. So, back it up a little bit. I don't know what time or where this fits, but there's this girl, Bethany, who was super into him. But she was like that cool girl. She was like that girl that would, wear something tight and then say, like, does this make me look fat? But you know, like, she knows she looks hot, but she would ask a guy for his opinion. Kind of like that type energy. Bethany, if you're watching this, I don't mean it as an insult, but I was intimidated by you. I saw you as love rival competition. And so, Bethany had a boyfriend who went to a different school. But she had invited him to this party, so he was like hugging up on her, because I'm assuming that he knew about Jared. Thing is, I don't think Jared was really interested in her, like, at all. Because he definitely didn't show any signs. And there is more on them later in the story. So, I think that's why he was, like, kind of low-key paying attention to me. To that. But, so then, my friend, we're gonna call her Clara. She was, somebody that I thought, like, was chill. Like, I thought we were friends. And she even took the pictures. No, actually, I think I told her that I was into Jared, and so she took the pictures of me, like, biting into his neck, or pretending to. And I think it might have been her idea, something like that. I was like, dope, like, wing girl coming in full clutch. Until sometime later, she walks up to me in the middle, like, before class starts, and she's like, smack me. I was like, what? She was like, smack me. I was like, okay, so, like, I smacked her. Like, not even just, like, a tap. Like, I, like, smacked her. Not, like, backhanded her or anything, but I did. And I think I had figured out something. Yeah, I think either somebody told me that she was messing around with Jared, or I kind of just felt like it. I can't particularly remember. But a few days later, she calls me, and she tells me that she was indeed fooling around with Jared. And she, like, told me in great detail, which I appreciate because my imagination is, like, 1,000 times worse than anything you could tell me. And I was just like, dang. So I asked her, I was like, is this why you wanted me to smack you? She told me yes. Because she felt guilty. And she wanted me to hit her. And I was like, nah, girl, like, we're cool. Like, literally, like, we're cool. So, a few days later, she comes, it was either a few days later or the next day, she comes up to me. She was like, are we really cool? And I was like, yeah, we're cool, because, I wasn't gonna fool around with him. I'm not about that. So, even if we were together, like, it would kind of be low-key open relationship, because I'm not doing anything sexual with him. And he obviously into that, so I wouldn't just, like, deprive him of that. Go get it somewhere else, because I'm not going to give it to you. I'm kind of that type. So, yeah, we were cool. And I forgot. During Halloween, we went through, like, a circle thing, and I told him that I liked him, and then I moved on. So I had already told him that I liked him. And then my friend Arlo invited all of us to go over to his place. So we, like, walked over there. We had a great time. It was like the whole troupe, which was now a lot bigger because of the second show. And I confessed to him there again. Like, legit confessed to him. And he was like, okay. Like, damn, he sucked. And I was like, did you know that I liked you before I told you that I liked you? And he's like, yeah. You told me. And I was like, when did I tell you? And he's like, Halloween. And I was like, right. I forgot. And then he started talking to me about this drama with Bethany. And we were sitting in the dark, and I was like, you Bethany, is that still going on? I was thinking about this while he was talking to me because Bethany was one of the people that got me into that room. So, this is the second girl now that has been helping me get closer to this Jared guy that was also into him. I'm like, what? Why does nobody tell me this stuff? I'm like super tripped out. And so basically Bethany was talking about, we were talking about something. And it was something that Jared didn't like because Bethany has had a boyfriend. And it was like weird. And this was before I had to go. So then I was like, can I give you a hug? And he's like, cool, yeah, we're friends. And I was like, cool. And then I was thinking about it on my way home, and I was like, we are not friends. Do you even know my favorite color? I don't care what you say. Go off in the comments or whatever about favorite colors and best friends. But to me, if you don't know my favorite color, we are not friends. If you don't know something personal about me, like that, something like stupid and not really useful in a sense, for blackmail, we are not friends. So, that kind of happened, and then Jared kind of just disappeared. He didn't participate in our third show, and he kind of just like ghosted. He wasn't even in class a lot of the time. So, lots of time passes, and we had this couple. Meredith and Diego. So Meredith and Diego came in as a couple, and they came from a different school. Like, they transferred into our school. And apparently they weren't a couple anymore. They had broken up, or they were going through issues. I later find out that they were going through issues partially because of Jared. Yeah, you see, Jared was into Meredith. Which brings me, back in the second show, I had to walk into the boys' dressing room for something. And Meredith kind of just hung out in there and did, like, her makeup and stuff like that. So, there was this one time that well, obviously I need glasses to see right, but I didn't have them. And I was really into skin. For some reason, like, literally, I don't know why. And, Jared wasn't wearing a shirt. And I couldn't see him properly, but I was like, skin. And Meredith had said something provocative, I think, pertaining to something that Jared had said about me. So she was kind of like trying to like hype me up or something like that. Like, she was trying to get us closer, you know? And that would make her the third girl, because it turns out she was low-key interested in him, at least from what I understand. And this is just on what I heard. She was low-key interested in Jared as well. So, like, I kind of felt like a fool at the end of the year when I found out all this stuff. Because not one, not two, but 3 girls were trying to get me with Jared. Or at least Jared to look my way. And they were all interested in him. And just like nobody told me. Like, what? And, like, what did they think was going to happen? I was going to break down in tears. I was going to chew their head off, because a lot of people just thought I was going to do that, actually. And, I only found out about this much later because, Darla, I love you, okay? If you're watching this, you're really cool. Everybody told Darla everything. Darla had the dirt, the tea, the juice on everyone. And so Jared is telling Darla his whole shebang with Meredith and Diego. And I'm right there, right next to Darla. So I am going off in my head. I am raging in my head. And the universe had to vibe check me, because when I get too angry, bad things happen. And by vibe check, I mean the universe pushed me down the bleachers. I literally fell down the bleachers. And as I went to the bottom, I was just like, that is fair. I was getting angry over nothing. That is so fair. And you know what else? This is the realization when I knew that Jared ain't shit. Because he didn't even care. He didn't even look my way. He didn't ask if I was okay. He didn't ask what happened. Nothing. My friend Raven is the one that helped me, actually. She was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And she was like kind of laughing, but kind of like checking to make sure I was okay. And Darla, didn't give a crap either. Yeah. I know you said that you do if you're watching this, Darla, but I don't think you did. I don't believe you on that. And basically that's the story on Jared. Oh, did I mention that I thought I was in love with him? Yeah, at some point I was telling Arlo that I thought I was close to in love with him. He showed like he showed like 2% interest in me. That is it. I don't know how I thought I was in love with him. But it was so freaking flimsy that fall down the bleachers just crushed it. And actually, he low-key popped into my life again just by like spontaneity because he popped up back in my messages in a group chat that we didn't even know existed still because somebody had left it. So it resent a message and everybody got it again. And he was a jerk, basically pretentious little prick. And I shut him down with my sarcasm. It's actually not that great, but thanks for watching.